You're such an amateur. The word amateur can have two very different meanings. The Oxford Dictionary describes the amateur as a person who is contemptibly inept at a particular activity, or a person who engages in a pursuit, especially a sport, on an unpaid basis. I want to talk a bit about the latter kind of amateur. Friedrich Wilhelm Herschel, or Frederick William Herschel, was a musician who lived in the 18th century. He loved playing the oboe, the violin, the harpsichord, the organ. He also loved composing new pieces, and he got paid for doing those things. And his interest in music actually led to an interest in mathematics and astronomy. And sadly, he couldn't shop online on the internet, on Amazon or eBay, for a telescope, so he had to do what lots of people back then did, namely building your own telescope. It's actually a very fun thing to do, by the way, but it takes some time. Herschel, for example, grinded his telescope, his primary mirror, up to 16 hours a day. And polishing also took some time. So actually his polisher can still be seen in the Science Museum in London. So if you ever go there, surely pay a visit to his polisher. It's quite some interesting thing to see. In any case, once the telescope was finished, he could start watching the night sky. And he was interested in binary stars. But after a couple of years, he saw something that he described as, well, it might be either a nebulous star or perhaps a comet. And after some more observations and after sharing his findings with a Russian mathematician who could calculate the orbit of this thing, he concluded that he had actually discovered a new planet. And he named this planet the Gregorian star. So, you've not heard of the Gregorian star, mostly because the French people didn't quite like this name. So this name was changed into Uranus. And Uranus was actually the first planet that was discovered with a telescope. And it was a pretty big discovery back then. Not only because our solar system was becoming immediately a bit larger, but also because it's a new planet after all. And King George III recognized his achievement by giving him a salary of £200 a year in exchange for him moving to Windsor and letting the royal family watch the night sky through his telescope, which is a pretty fair deal, I suppose. Actually, I don't know whether we could still call him an amateur from that moment onwards. Probably not. But he started as an amateur. And he made his discovery while being an amateur. And actually today, amateurs can still make interesting discoveries and pay quite big contributions to the field of astronomy. They can discover comets, asteroids, supernovae. And besides that, I think that whether you're paid or not paid for doing astronomy, we're all amateurs because we all love watching the night sky. We all love thinking about stars.